I'm Cody Watt, and this is my cousin Abigail Goldberg, who actually is from Israel. So, um, Abby, why don't you say something in Hebrew so we know this isn't faking it or anything?
שלום, ונחמד לי להיות פה.
There you go. So,
You know what I said?
sure, yeah. What did
I
you say?
said hi, I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Alright. So yeah, I'm just gonna ask Abby some questions about Israel and about everyday life living in Israel. So, Abby, what started the conflict in Israel? Or I guess Palestine?
Well, I guess Israel. Well, I guess there's been a conflict since, I don't know, ever since everybody can remember, but mostly it was the Balfour Declaration. Assad Balfour. Yeah, that mostly pushed the,
Alright. So, what major event happened in 1947?
I think 1947, the British hand over the problem, something like that. What?
The British.
Okay,
The British brought the problem.
Stop it.
It doesn't matter.
What?
The British brought the problem to the
How
United
should I
Nations.
say that? The British handed over the problem to the United Nations.
Alright.
Okay.
Sorry, stop. So, what did the United Nations come up with as a solution for that?
They sure just, plan that they'll live together there, and well, the Jews.
They lived together?
Can I talk in Hebrew?
Sure,
The
talk in
Jews-
Hebrew.
No, the
I'll
Jews
translate.
agreed. The Jews agreed, and the Arabs did not.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
So they were making a two-state solution.
Right.
So where both countries, or both parties would live together.
Exactly.
Okay. So if the Arabs didn't want the Israelis to be there, what did they do?
What?
Like, what did the Arabs do to not, like, they didn't want, the Arabs didn't want the Israelis in Palestine, so, what did the Arabs do?
Oh, okay. The day after the what's it called?
Independence Day?
Yes, exactly. The day after the Independence Day, they opened with a war, Milchemet Shisht Yamim in Hebrew, and it was a war for 6 days. In the end of the war, as usual, the Jews succeeded. Yeah, and it was a war with Egypt, Iraq, right? Jordan, and a few others. I don't remember.
So, you said the Jews won, of course.
Of course.
So, how did they win?
I mean, the Israeli army, which is actually, we still have the same army today. I know in 2 years I'll be going to the army, but the soldiers that were there, the officers,
Generals.
generals. They were actually the high up rated generals that were in the Second World War. So, yeah.
Alright, so what was the result of the Jewish victory from winning the war, taking over Israel?
They got what they wanted. They got the land of Israel. I mean, till today we still have Arabs in Israel, and it's still like, I don't know exactly how much compared, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I have a map I'm gonna put on.
Okay.
So you said you have some Arab friends. So what is it like to have Arab friends, even though both sides don't like each other?
Mm. I think personally, I see Arabs as people, and just like you sort of put the fact that politically we don't agree, we put that aside, but it is a problem. Like I do have friends that can literally say they don't not want any connection with the Arabs, and yeah. So which is hard because the Hamas and these other what's it called?
The other groups of people?
Yeah, the bad people. Okay, let's like that.
The bad people?
They my friends do come under that category of Arabs, like they do. And although they might agree with the Hamas and stuff like that, then you know my friends at school do see them as the same, in the same way. You know what I mean? They put them under the same yeah.
So some people don't just like Palestinians in general? Is that
Yeah, it's pretty much. Also in Israel, they don't really have a place in Israel. I mean, it's like, they don't even go to the army. So they get, this also bothers the Israelis because the Arabs get the benefits of every person that lives in Israel, but they still don't do the army. And most don't even do civil work.
So, can you explain what civil work is?
Well, it's actually the people who decide that they don't want to do army, which is like really being in war and stuff like that, and being involved in that area. Well, actually, every kid, every girl and boy that finished school, girls have to go for 2 years, and guys have to go for 3 years to the army. Have to, except for Arabs don't exactly have to. So I don't know, they sort of can get away with it or something like that. They do their own their own stuff. But people who decide that they don't want to do the army, they do civil work, which is like helping in schools and helping in different areas where they don't get paid. It's just like civil work.
All right.
And so I think we as Israelis at least expect them to do civil work if they're not doing the army. If they want the benefits that that every person should get living in Israel. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And you told me something interesting yesterday where you say the Arabs were saying they're from, or the Palestinians saying they're from.
The Israeli Arabs saying they're from Palestine.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they have a problem seeing themselves as Israelis because, I mean, they do not connect to the Israeli flag. They do not connect to the Israeli anthem. The Jewish, because the core in Israel is Jewish. All the holy, everything's around the Jewish people mostly. So it's sort of like living in a place where you don't belong,
Yeah.
So I think that's how they feel, and so they sort of just.
Yeah. So real quick, what is it like just living in Israel?
Wow, and all.
Yeah.
That's a hard question, Cody. That's the hardest question.
All right, then let's scratch that question. Do you disagree with there being a war in between Palestine and Israel?
Okay, that's a political question that I don't even know where I stand there yet.
Okay.
But I mean, we don't talk about it much at school. We talk about history, but we don't talk about everybody in Israel has a different mind about the way they see the Palestinians, the way they see the Arabs. But I don't know. I don't think anybody. Thanks, Gunnar. I don't think anybody really wants war,
Mhm.
but still, you know.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you, Abby. So that's it.
So that was all.